I said it wrong. Let me start over. Let me start
No.
over.
I am not a fancy bitch, so it is hard for me sometimes with designers. I'm like, I have no idea.
You said you're not a fancy bitch, but you took an expensive dress and put it in the ocean.
I like to run outside. It gives me outside time. It gives me fresh air. It gives me sun.
Well, better you than me, because listen, I'm not fucking running on a treadmill or outside, okay? I like to sit and catch that vitamin D.
I love that the plus one is not your partner, it's the mannequin. You're like, no, partner can go away, mannequin instead.
Is avocado dip what Australians call guac? You deserved an Emmy for the way you were climbing on top of that mannequin, okay? That is some grade A acting right there.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
Damn, baby, you look good. Can I have your number?
It's Australian, so it won't work from your phone.
Not only did you turn me straight for a couple of seconds, but now I'm showing up with a mannequin, leaving my partner behind. Welcome to Unshut, a place where if at any point you feel like you need to shut the up, don't.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, amazing. How are you doing?
I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I woke up with this pimple in my face, so I don't know who's
No.
giving the interview today, me or the pimple. We don't
No.
know.
Oh my gosh. Well, I wouldn't have even noticed if you didn't say that, so don't stress.
So, the first thing I want to get out of the way is pronouncing your name because I am Hispanic and so I struggle with pronouncing everyone's name. So, Imogen, did I say that correctly?
That's exactly right. You've done really well. Most people take a few goes.
Okay, so we're off to a good start then. I'm good.
Yes, very good.
You just recently moved to Nashville full time, so you're in the States now.
Yes, I just moved here on Thursday last week.
Like, literally, like, that is so fast.
I know. I hit the ground running, truly. I love it here and I've wanted to move here for so long. So I'm thrilled to finally be living here full time.
Are you getting settled in okay with the place and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm stoked. I mean, I just feel like, this town is has always felt like a home away from home for me. Coming from Sydney, a lot of Australians love Nashville, and I definitely feel that way. And so I feel like the settling in is going really fast because I have already so many friends here and I already love it so much.
I did not know that. I didn't know that Sydney residents loved Nashville. Why is that?
I think in Australia, Australia is beautiful and I think we have a lot of good things going for us over there. But I think the music scene here is just so it's just unparalleled. You can't beat the Nashville music scene, and the way that this city lives and breathes music is so important to us. And so it's something we can't quite find at home in Australia. So I think that's why a lot of us end up here.
I love that. That makes a whole lot of sense. And so I know you've been to Nashville before, and so you've been exposed to a lot of culture shocks. But now that you're living there, even though it's just been a few days, a few short days, what is the biggest culture shock now in comparison from Sydney to Nashville that you've experienced?
Oh, good question. I think things take you a while to get used to, even when you go back and forth. I think driving on the other side of the road is very stressful, and I'm scared. But I'm definitely committed to getting better at it and facing my fear. But right now, it is terrifying to me.
I bet. I won't even try it. I was just in London not too long ago and I will not do it. So you're brave.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That's very lovely. Yes, I'm hoping to conquer my fear soon.
That's amazing. Any plans on going back to Australia anytime soon just to visit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually will be back for Christmas at the end of this year, doing a couple of shows in Australia, but also, visiting my family. All my family still live there. Our family dog, got to see my friends and all of that. So it'll definitely be the end of this year, but hoping that I can also convince them to come over and fall in love with Nashville. I don't think it'll take too much convincing.
I don't think so either. Before we talk about music, I want to get this out of the way because I am just so obsessed with the cover art. Like, I need it in vinyl, I need it printed, I need a poster, I need all
Oh,
the things with that cover art. Whose creative concept was that?
thank you so much. That's so lovely. And I'm obsessed with the cover art too. So that was created by the incredible Julia McGoran. She is an Australian, Melbourne based artist, photographer, creative director. She's incredible. And I've worked with her her on a few of my cover arts for EPs and things in the past. And she is just one of my favorite creatives in Australia. I think she is a total genius. And the whole idea was really workshopped between Julia, myself, and my manager, Jeremy. We were all talking about the theme of the record that comes out at the end of May. And we were talking about the fact that it's really about being your own hero and learning how to get through things in life and let it build you up and make you stronger rather than letting it destroy you. And so the cover art depicts me, sort of the current strong version of myself, holding the former version of myself who is more, younger and more naive and hasn't learnt as much. And I'm sort of carrying myself over the threshold of this giant city in the background where I'm huge and the city's small, and it's meant to be Sydney, looking out to Western Sydney where I grew up. So there's so much meaning in the image and it's so beautifully created. The fun fact about that album cover is that when we were shooting it, obviously we needed a stand-in for the body that I'm carrying is myself, but in order to Photoshop it, we had to have a stand-in. So we took the dress that I was wearing and we put it on 2 taped together bags of fertilizer. And
Stop.
and I'm holding that. And then Julia photoshopped me into the position of the bags of fertilizer. So very glamorous outcome, not very glamorous process.
Well, it sounds like fun though. And I think that's what's so cool about it is that it's so beautiful to look at. And I think that, the art of getting through, it doesn't only represent being your own hero. It also represents, like you said, carrying your past self, being there to pick yourself up when no one else does, coping. And so that's what I loved about it, that not only was it just so beautifully made, but even though the art of getting through and it did correlate with the artwork, it was still open to so many more feelings, so many more emotions. So I love that. So good job to, the photoshopping and the process of it because it's so stunning.
Oh, thank you so much.
Will it be in vinyl by any chance? Any plans on that?
Definitely. I always love having vinyl, and I'm a big vinyl person myself because I love the fact that, artists put so much work into making these album covers and this album art, and rarely people get to see it except for a tiny little thumbnail on a screen or on their phone. So I love having vinyl myself. So we definitely will put this out in vinyl, and couldn't have that beautiful cover art being, not being appreciated. So it'll be in vinyl for sure.
Well, thank you for that because I was planning on taking a screenshot of it, zooming in on it, printing it myself. I was ready to do it myself. So,
Oh my God, thank you. That's so lovely.
yes. So, I love your music video to Compensating. And something I want to do with you is I want to pull inspiration from that video, which is just awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
We are just, yes, you're so welcome. And by the way, I have been so excited. I know we set this up a few weeks, like actually a little bit longer than a few weeks, and my anxiety has been through the roof. I've been so excited to talk
Oh,
with you.
that is so sweet. Oh my gosh. I hope you're not stressed because as you can probably tell, I feel like I'm quite an easy person to talk to. So I'm glad you've been excited, but don't be stressed.
So excited, definitely not stressed. And you know what? That's probably where this pimple's coming from. The excitement's coming out of my body.
Oh my God, that's so funny. An excitement pimple. I love to see it.
Exactly. So something that I want to do with you is I want to put my own twist to Clarkaoke based on that video.
Oh
Okay.
my God, I love this.
So the way we're going to do it just a little bit differently though, so I'm adding my own little spin to it, is I'm going to give you some lines from your music catalog, but I'm going to almost act them out and change the tone of them to see if you can pick up what song that is from.
I love this game.
Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
All right, the first one is, let me get into character real quick for you.
Yeah.
Who am I to be your lover?
It's like a dramatic reading of my lyrics. I love that. That's You're Anything at All.
Amazing. And by the way, they're hopefully they get a little bit more difficult. I'm trying to like warm you up here, okay?
Okay, good. Thank you so much. I love this.
The next one is I got a fire in me, so keep an eye open.
Oh, yes, that's Bastards.
Yes.
It is funny hearing it read in a different, firstly, someone else's voice, but also in like a different tone and like different emphasis. It's like, oh my gosh, I wrote that, but I don't even remember. What a bitch.
Yes. And that's what I loved about coming up with this idea was because if I would read it flat, you can almost kind of pick up the tone because obviously I've heard your music, so it's hard to read a line without the tone of the music.
I love
So
that. Yeah, very clever.
I love it. Okay, the next one is, oh, so sad that you showed me who you are.
I love this sass, dripping with sass, and I love it. Is that oh, that's nonchalant.
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. For a second, I was going to say compensating. Then I'm like, no, no, that's nonchalant.
Yes, and I want to pause the game real quick because we have to talk about that video. We have to talk about the mannequin. Was this your way of almost saying men ain't shit?
Yes, absolutely, it was, and it was my way of saying how many times can I be in a situationship with a man who has little to no personality as much as a mannequin, pretty much.
It is so genius. And let me tell you something real quick. You have my word. If I ever make it to one of your live shows, I will 100% show up with a mannequin. The mannequin will be my plus one.
Oh my God. I would die if you did that. That would make me laugh so much. And we could put the mannequin on stage and it could be part of the show. That would be perfect.
Exactly. And what's so funny about it too is like, I wish I could be joking. That is totally something I would do.
Oh
So
my God. I love this. Come to any show you want because I'd be delighted to see that.
I love it. Are you ready for the next one?
Yes, hit me.
Every time you go, right to rewind. And I said it wrong. Let me start over. Let me start over.
I didn't even notice you said it wrong, so don't worry.
Every time you go, right to remind.
Okay. That's big one.
Yes.
Yes. Yay. Okay. Oh my God.
And a couple of things about this song. One, I'm too embarrassed to tell you how many times I've streamed it. It's
Oh
my
my
favorite
God.
one.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yes, and the second thing I have to tell you about this song and the video is that dress. We have to talk about it.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
does it come in any other colors? How many of them do you have? Where is it even from? Because you pulled it off so beautifully. So let's
Oh my
talk
gosh.
about the dress.
Thank you so much. That is so lovely. So the thing about that dress, it is Mugler, that dress, and it's beautiful. I believe that's how you say it. I hope I'm not saying it wrong, but I am not a fancy bitch, so it is hard for me sometimes with designers. I'm like, I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Mugler, and it's gorgeous. So I actually wore that dress at the end of last year to the ARIA Awards in Australia, which are like our version of the Grammys. And so I wore that dress, and then I was like, well, we should use it for a video and get the most use out of this dress as we can because I've already worn it to an awards show. So if it does get ruined in the ocean, it's not the end of the world. But luckily, the dress did survive the ocean, although it was a struggle to shoot this video because I'm in this long dress. It's really like tight and also kind of has these open mesh strips in it that make you feel slightly afraid that if it twists off center, everything is going to fall out and be visible to the camera. So, and to all the people on the beach, by the way, while we were filming this, who looked very confused at what we were doing.
That
And
is
the lifeguard,
iconic.
yeah, the lifeguard at the beach was even like, hey, you guys over there, like, what are you doing? Can you like be careful, please? Maybe get out of the water. It was crazy, but it was really fun and it turned out so well. I'm so happy with the way that clip looks and it was done like so quickly and simply.
I love it. Was the lifeguard hot at least?
He was so far away, he had a megaphone. I couldn't even tell. And so, like, not even worth it.
You should have been like, listen, I only listen to mannequins, okay? That is so amazing. But let's backtrack real quick because you said you're not a fancy bitch, but you took an expensive dress and put it in the ocean. That's the fanciest shit I've ever heard in my life.
God, that's so true. That's so true. I was definitely like, sacrifice it all for the art. Commitment to the bit. That's what I'm all about.
I love it. And so, just because we're talking about fashion now, I've noticed you like a good crop top.
I love a crop top. I'm all about a crop top. I'm a 90s girl all the way.
Do you ever DIY your own shirts and crop them yourself?
I've definitely done that. I've had like massive, like men's size shirts and like cut them across the middle and cut sleeves off and stuff in the past. But it's definitely like, I always feel like I can't even cut in a straight line. So I mostly try and buy them as crops already, but not enough people sell crop merch. Like, I want every band shirt in a crop.
I love that. So I have to share this funny story with you because while I was talking to my partner about getting ready for this interview and everything, I'm telling him about how I want to bring up crop tops with you because I think one, you rock them and I love fashion, right? And he makes fun of me all the time because I love to DIY my own sweaters. I love to cut the sleeves off. I cut the collars off. I distress them.
Oh,
So I told him that I was going to ask you, but then I was totally joking. But now I'm not joking because I am going to ask you. You'll have to send me your size, but I am going to crop some sweaters for you just because I love ripping shit up. So,
oh my
yes.
gosh. I love this. I'm all about this. I love distressed clothing. I am one of those people that it's like I'm aiming to have my dad say the most classic dad thing and go, "What? You couldn't afford any that didn't have holes in them?" Like that's what my dad says to me every time I wear stuff like that. And I want it to continue.
I love that. That's definitely me with my ripped shit. Like I will have like the nicest boot or the nicest Prada shoe with shorts, and then my sweater is literally from Walmart and it's got holes all over it, and I rock the fuck out of it. I love
I
it.
love this. This is the balance we all need in our lives.
Absolutely. The next one is a mix between me and part of your lyrics. So I took parts of your lyrics and I added just a little bit of me. Are you ready for
Love it.
this one?
Love it.
Okay, gotta go. Gotta go make some decisions.
Oh, that's squinters.
Yes.
Yes. At the start, I was like, oh my God, I don't think I know this one.
I'm also debuting my voiceover acting, I guess. So
I love this. You need an agent for voiceover work for sure.
thank you so much. I'm definitely gonna take what you said, put it in my pocket, and ride with it and be like, listen, Imogen told me to, so now that's what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. Please use that in your bio.
I will absolutely will. I'll make sure to thank you at the Emmys and shit too.
Please, please.
For anyone that's listening who does not understand the term squinters, can you explain?
Yes, totally. So this is a very Australian thing, or at least I think it is. We refer to people who live in the western suburbs of Sydney as squinters because often, there's not as many jobs in the west. So you might drive into the city to do a 9 to 5. And if you're finishing at 5 o'clock, you're driving home in the western direction with the sun in your eyes as it sets. So you're squinting into the sun as you drive home. And I grew up in Western Sydney in a place called the Hawkesbury, and my folks still live there. I still visit a lot. That's where I cut my teeth as a musician. And so a lot of my music features references to Western Sydney.
That is so awesome because when I wrote this question down and I wrote down here for anyone listening, I was fucking talking about myself, okay? It was like me. I am anyone. I was unsure what squinters meant, but I want to give you my interpretation of it, if
Oh,
that's
cool.
okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, so the way I interpreted that line, right? You talked about the souls having splinters, right?
Yes.
And the way I interpreted was, when you are just so fucking tired, your eyes are barely open, and you are just at this point of like, you're almost dwindling away in the day.
Oh, I love that.
That's how I interpret it. And so to me, I'm like, I'm not going to Google it. I'm going to ask her where that lyric came from. So I got goosebumps hearing you talk about it because this is why I love music so much because it's so open to that interpretation. And I had no idea where that meaning or where that saying came from. So I love that.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that with me. That's really cool because that's also my favorite part about music is that what the song was written about, it can also be completely different to the way it's interpreted by different listeners. And your interpretation actually still makes a lot of sense with the meaning of the song and what I wrote the song about because it is about the path my life could have taken if I had not tried to pursue my dreams and if I'd not left my small home town. And if I had sort of settled down with someone I was not really truly in love with and worked a job I hated in the city and, ended up having a family that I didn't really want, but instead of pursuing these musical aspirations of mine. So the idea that you would be so tired that your eyes are just closing on their own is kind of like, that also makes total sense with that. So I'm really cool. I'm really glad that like you got that interpretation.
And I love hearing you say that too, because now it also makes me think of like, wow, like when you squint your eyes, things can get so blurry. And so now hearing you talk about what your life could have been, those are the blurry moments in our life today when we start to think of like, man, like had I have not taken this leap of faith, had I have not been pursuing my artistry, my life could have looked so different. And that can be such a blur.
So
So
true. And the whole thing is very hazy sounding. It's meant to sound a bit druggy and a bit half asleep because you're living this kind of life that's a bit of a blur. So, like, that totally makes sense.
I love it. And thank you so much for letting me share that with you because
Oh, of course.
I'm not a writer, I'm not a singer, but I am a music lover to heart. And so being able to interpret someone's music and doing it respectfully is very, very special to me. So
That's awesome. Thank you.
yes, you're welcome. So while getting ready for today, I went through your socials and I thought it was hilarious that you tweeted, "Sometimes I wonder what people would dig up of my online footprint if I were to become famous." Do you remember this tweet?
I forgot I tweeted that. That's so funny.
Couple of things about that. The first thing about it is, and I am very like intuitive. I believe in not over preparing, but just kind of letting the universe and find inspiration through your music, the videos. It's just kind of how I do my interviews, which is why sometimes my questions are so off the wall,
I
right?
love
And
that.
thank you so much. And so the irony behind me finding this tweet, and I wish I could be making it up, but I was sitting on my couch last night looking for just some last minute inspirations. And so I'm like, let me go to her Twitter. I shit you not. I scrolled with my eyes closed. I stopped, looked. That was the tweet that was there. I started to laugh and I looked at my partner and was like, you're not going to believe this.
So funny. That's perfect.
So we are going to break down some of your past tweets.
Oh no, this is terrifying.
Are
I
you
love this.
ready?
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
So you tweeted, "Lockdown solution, eat nothing but avocado dip until you die." Is avocado dip what Australians call guac?
That is so on brand for me. I don't remember tweeting that, but man, that sounds like something I would say. You know what? We do call it guac, but I also had this thing from the supermarket that was called avocado dip and not guacamole. And I think it was just because it was made with different ingredients, but it was delicious. And I just ate nothing but that. Thankfully, I didn't die, but I was on track.
You survived and you survived thanks to that fucking avocado dip. So
Yes, thank you so much, avocado dip.
exactly. Does guac cost extra in Australia?
Yeah, it normally does because avocados are so expensive. I don't know if you've heard, Australia is very expensive and the cost of living is very high, and avocados can be so expensive.
Well, I'm glad to know that we're not the only country that has upcharges for avocado. So, but I am Hispanic, so I am totally biased to it. I'm like, listen, avocado should cost a fuck ton, okay? It's the most precious thing to our food. So,
It is. It absolutely is. It's elite.
absolutely. You tweeted, "Nashville, I love you, but I've been catcalled 3 times this week. Get your shit together."
I forgot about this tweet, but I remember that happening, and it does weirdly it happens a lot actually. And I love it here. I love this town so much. But I don't know if that was just a bad timing thing or bad luck, but it like I think because I was running outdoors, and I know a lot of people here prefer to like run on treadmills or whatever, but I'm one of these people that's like, I refuse to pay for a gym membership. I'm going to work out, but I'm going to do it at home. I buy some like little weights and a yoga mat, and I do like stuff like that, but I also love to run. And so I was like, well, I don't want to run on a treadmill. I like to run outside. It gives me outside time. It gives me fresh air. It gives me sun. And so when I run sort of on the side of the road, I find like I will get catcalled, and that's something that does happen to me. I won't lie, it definitely happens everywhere, and it happens in Australia too. But I just noticed it on this one particular week in Nashville last time I was here, and I was like, why is this happening? This is so Strange.
Well, better you than me, because listen, I'm not fucking running on a treadmill or outside, okay? I like to sit and catch that vitamin D, okay?
Hey, that's also great. Don't get me wrong. I hate it while I'm doing it. I just like it afterwards.
There you go. It's for the endorphins, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So, in honor of that tweet, I am going to pretend to be straight and catcall you via Zoom. Give us your best response. Are you ready?
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Damn, baby, you look good. Can I have your number?
It's Australian, so it won't work from your phone.
And that is a line I hope you have used. Please tell me you've used that line before.
Oh my God, you know
Please.
what? I never have, but I should. I mean, I won't, I do have an American number, but I'm not going to tell them that.
That is gold. Okay, so see, now I'm going to give you merch ideas. If you could come up with a jacket or a shirt that says, it's Australian, babe, it won't work for you, that would be awesome.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that idea. That's going straight in the notes app on my phone.
I love that. Was that the first time you've been catcalled via Zoom?
Yes, absolutely. I love that. I actually, that's the only way, that's how I want to be catcalled from now on, only via Zoom.
Well, that's the first time I've been straight on Zoom. So
I love the way your entire face and demeanor changed when you were like, now I'm going to be I'm going to be straight guy catcalling you. I have to totally change my whole persona.
oh, I can't wait to play it back and watch it because whenever I'm doing these interviews are such a blur. So then when I edit and go back and watch, I am like, that is what my face looked like. Oh my God.
I'm the same. I love this. I love this.
You tweeted, I deserve a sweet treat for being alive today. What's your favorite dessert?
Why do I tweet so much about food? I'm so obsessed with food. You know what? Okay, sweet treats. In Australia, we have Tim Tams. Have you had Tim Tams before?
I have not.
They are delicious. Very, very cool, like biscuity thing with like coated in chocolate. And we have a thing called the Tim Tam Slam where you can like bite the ends. It's like kind of a long rectangular biscuit, and you can bite both the ends off and then put it in a cup of tea and use it as a straw to suck the tea up into and then it gets all mushy and soft and chocolatey. That's probably my,
That's cool.
yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Are those hard to find in the US?
I don't know if they sell them here. I'm not sure because I know a lot of people like Australians will come over and visit their American friends and they'll like bring Tim Tams as like a little Australian gift. But I don't know if maybe you can get them in like specialist places here. Who knows?
Yeah, that's so awesome. I love to hear different types of desserts and foods. I am such a foodie and I love to travel, and so I'll definitely add that. I've never been to Australia though, but when I
Oh,
do make it over there, I'll make sure to be on the hunt for those.
definitely.
You tweeted a childhood photo of you where you were doing the chef kisses. Do you know what photo I'm talking about?
Yes, I don't know what I was doing.
I was just going to ask you that. Was that a coincidence or was that truly like, do you remember maybe in that photo you were going like yummy food or something? I just thought it was so funny because now in 2024 or in our, generation now, that is such a common thing to do and it's even an emoji now.
Yes,
So
that's what I thought was so funny is like I thought I'll tweet like a throwback or I'll use this throwback photo to like promote upcoming gigs because like I love it when people post photos of them as kids because it's just like really cute and it's like you can see the way they've grown up and everything. So I was like, "Oh, I never do that. I should find a photo of me as a kid." And my mum had just texted me these photos that she'd found when she was cleaning out the garage at our family home. And she sent me that photo and I was looking at it going, what am I doing? Because obviously like that wasn't a thing that I would have known as a child to be like, yum, like it was just not sort of, it was a strange thing. And I asked mom and she said I was doing ballet. Like
oh,
sort of like I don't
oh,
know why I did that with my fingers, but I think that was like something where I thought I was doing like a little pirouette or something. Because when I was little, I did ballet for a very short period of time before I realized that I had absolutely no control of any of my limbs. So I think that's what I was trying to do, but who knows? It just looked perfect for the chef's kiss, like upcoming gigs. Mwah.
It did. That is so precious. And so we'll either say that it was you doing ballet or you're a time traveler. We're going to call you a time traveler. You knew it was going to be an emoji. So
Yeah, very much a like Back to the Future scenario.
Was there anything else you tried as a kid that really wasn't for you? I know you said ballet, but was there anything else?
Yeah, I think so I actually thought that I was going to be an actress. Originally, like when I was really little, I joined a like my parents helped me join this acting agency for children, and it wasn't like they didn't push it on me. I really wanted to do it, and I was asking them about it, and my dad had been an actor when he was a kid, sort of a teenager. And so I signed up for this acting agency in Sydney, and I did go on a bunch of auditions, and I got fairly close to getting a big role and it didn't come through. But that was around the time when I was also starting to sing. And I kind of, even though I know these days it's more common not to pick one, like you can kind of do it all at the same time. I think back then it was a bit more like, I think, you should focus on one rather than spreading your energy across both. So singing took over for me and I just got so into singing and then picked up instruments and got into songwriting and then it sort of the rest came from there. But I still love the idea of being an actress and I still would one day love to like act in something. I love making our music videos. I love being in them. I love playing roles like that. It's fun. So who knows? Might make a revival in my life.
I mean, listen, all I know is you deserved an Emmy for the way you were climbing on top of that mannequin, okay? That is some grade A acting right there.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. As I was doing that, I was just thinking like, my mum and dad are going to watch this.
I didn't even think about that.
I think about it way too much. I'm like, can you like you're a 29-year-old woman. Stop worrying about this.
That is awesome. I love that your dad was a teenage actor. Are there any other performing arts in the DNA in your family?
Yeah, definitely. So, as well as being an actor, my dad is also a musician. So, he kind of did both. And especially, sort of after his teenage years, he was mostly interested in music and he would play around the Sydney sort of punk rock scene in the 70s and 80s. And his band were doing quite well and supported a lot of big Australian bands. And he then went on to become a teacher of drama and English. So, I grew up with like all of that creative energy around all of these musical instruments around. And thankfully, my dad was really supportive and let me play them all. And all my cousins, my brother, they're all musical. So, big musical family, very lucky to have found it so early.
I love that. It's like it's in the blood and you cannot escape it, And I love that. Any plans on your parents coming out to see you in Nashville anytime soon?
We haven't got any solid dates planned. It's a little bit hard with, their work schedules in Australia, but they really want to come out. They're very keen. They've never been here to Nashville, and my mum has never even been to America. My dad has, but many, many, many years ago. So they are so keen to see it here. They can't wait. And hopefully it might happen sort of towards the start of next year is the plan. So after I'm in Australia and at Christmas time.
I love that. I'm going to be crossing my fingers for your mom to make her way out here. That would be amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Your album drops May 31st. How many tracks on the album will complete the entire project?
So the whole album is 13 tracks in total. And as you know, there's a few singles that have come out already. But yeah, 13 total.
It was recorded in LA, London, Sydney, Melbourne. Any other
Um,
cities that I missed?
yeah, just Nashville. Did you say Nashville? I don't know if you might have said Nashville.
And Nashville, yes, and Nashville. If you could record your next album in just one of those cities and not do it in multiple cities, which one would it be?
Oh, that's hard. I'd love to do more here in Nashville because we only got to record two of those album tracks in Nashville. But I would probably say LA only because my producer, Mike Bloom, who produced a majority of the record, he lives there and he is just my favorite producer to work with. I think he is phenomenal. He's a genius. And so for the foreseeable future, I want to work with him. So that means going to LA. And I love LA too, but yeah, it's mostly for him.
I love that. I'm originally from LA. It's where I grew up. And so LA has a special place in my heart too. So
Of course, it's so beautiful. Well, if you're from LA, I feel like you'll probably like Sydney because there are some comparisons and the weather is beautiful like LA. So
really, I've never heard that before. I love that.
yeah, Sydney has beautiful sunny weather, not all year round, but most of the year it's very beautiful weather. Yeah.
Okay, so you heard it here, mom and dad. If I go to Australia and don't fucking come back, it's all Imogen's fault.
Yep, he's living with my parents. Sorry, we've done a little swap.
Exactly. Rolling Stone magazine Australia said this EP will become a landmark. How does that feel? Does that add on to pressure or does that build the excitement or both?
For me, I think that wasn't so much pressure as it was kind of just amazing and built my confidence up to read. Because when you're an artist who's very much still, what I would call myself an emerging artist, I'm not an established artist, but I feel like having any sort of press response where a publication as respected and big as Rolling Stone are giving you that sort of praise is just really surreal and hard to believe. And so it just made me so grateful because I feel like that just gets the message out to more and more people that, hey, this is worth listening to and you should give this new artist a go. So very, very grateful for that sort of respect and placing the EP on such a high
Yeah,
level.
absolutely. Yeah, I feel like that is such a good feeling, and I'm sure it's very humbling. And I think that exactly what you just said, when it comes from such a respected platform like that, it's almost hard to even grasp, I am sure. And so, congratulations to you on that, because I think that is the coolest thing ever.
Well, thank you so much.
And I will also say this in regards to being an emerging artist. I think that we should start to appreciate the fact that artists will always be emerging. Once you'll drop this album, you'll have some successes here and there, and then when your next project comes, you will be emerging once again. And so don't downplay the word emerging because to me, you are an artist. I love your music, I love your sound, and you'll always be emerging. So
Oh, that's very sweet and a good way to think about it. I agree. There's never like a final point where you've just reached, everything. It's always a journey. You're always looking to improve and get better and better and better.
absolutely. You've got some shows coming up in May. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, sure. So I have a show on the 17th of May at Third and Lindsley in Nashville, and that's going to be a show for WMOT radio. So if you can't make the show in person, you can stream it online on their website or on the radio if you're a local. And then also, I'm playing my album launch on the 21st of May at the basement, the original basement in Nashville, and it's a free show. So it's going to be that one's going to be a full band show, full set, which is really, really exciting. And then in LA, we're launching the album on the 29th of May at the Hotel Cafe, also a full band show. So very excited for all of these.
Yes. Have you played at any of those venues before?
I have played Third and Lindsley actually hilariously yesterday. I played there for a writer's round, which was that was my first time at the venue and it was sold out on a Monday afternoon, which is just crazy, only in Nashville. And that went beautifully. So excited to go back to Third and Lindsley. I have never played the basement in Nashville before. I have played the Hotel Cafe in LA, but only for a couple of songs. It was in 2020 and just before the pandemic hit, and it was to raise money for the bushfires in Australia. So a bunch of Aussie expats who were living in LA raised a bunch of money that night, and we all performed for this concert, and it was really wonderful and raised a bunch of money.
I love that. Will there be any other artists joining you on stage for any of these shows?
That is still to be confirmed. So we are hoping hoping to have a couple of little special guests, but we'll have to wait and see till the night.
I love that. I can't wait to see. Wish I could be in LA. And that's one of the things where I'm like, I mean, I love where I'm living now. I love Texas, but
Yep.
it's just moments like this. Like I have some other artist friends that are out in LA that every time I'm like, I'm missing such good shows. And this was one of them. So
Oh, thank you. Well, hopefully we'll come to Texas at some point soon and you can come to one of the shows there.
yes, for sure. Is there a track on this album? And I'm sure there's so many that you're covering the whole thing, right? But what is the one song that's unreleased that you're looking forward to performing live the most?
Oh, good question. I think there's a song called Natural Predator on the record that hasn't come out yet. And it's one of the early tracks on the record. And I'm really excited to put it out because I feel like I've played it acoustically a couple of times at shows in Australia. And I wrote it with a Melbourne-based artist named Katie Whiten. And I think what I'm so excited about with this song is that it's about the fact that how crazy it is that straight women have to date their natural predator. And so it's kind of talking about how how unsafe women feel on a day-to-day basis when they're, just in the dating world and trying to meet someone. And the most frequent danger to women who date men is their own partner, which is crazy. You often think about the fact that it's, oh, well, it could be someone lurking in a dark alleyway. Well, most frequently it's your own partner or someone you already know that will attack you, which is terrifying and a horrible thought. And so this song is it's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek delivery of that message, but it has a serious note at its core.
I cannot wait to hear it. If you want to send it my way, I will sign an NDA so that I don't release it before you, but I'm so excited. I think that specifically music that, or just songs in general, that have meanings that are so personal in that way, specifically with subjects that are considered somewhat taboo. I love that because we have to keep pushing those boundaries just because, and another thing is too, is some people would be like, another, woman empowered song. And it's like, well, we can't skip the message just because you feel it's overplayed. We have
Yeah,
to keep doing it. So I can't wait to hear
exactly.
it.
Exactly. Thank you.
I have one last question for you, and this is going to be our closer before you tell everyone where to find your music and yourself. So, are you ready?
Yep.
What is worse, marriage or rehab?
Oh my God. I absolutely love this question. Also, I have so many people comment on this. It was funny when I released the song, If I Want In, which obviously that lyric is from. I had some hilarious reactions on comments and like Facebook and stuff of like these kind of boomer men being like, what are you talking about? What's worse, marriage or rehab? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, the joke has just gone so far over your head. But honestly, hard to pick. I would say rehab is worse, especially now that I have found a very, very beautiful man who I am dating and love very, very much. So now that's kind of changed my opinion on marriage a little bit.
I love that. And just for the record, she is not talking about a mannequin, people, okay? This is
Not a
a real
mannequin,
life.
a man. A real one. I promise.
I love that. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I have enjoyed this conversation talking about everything with you. Is there anything in regards to this album that we did not touch on that you would love to put on record here today?
No, I think you have asked some of my favorite questions that I've ever been asked in an interview. So thank you for your time and for doing so much research and being so lovely. I'm very happy with what we've chatted about.
I love to hear it, and I feel so content too. Thank you so much for your time. And lastly, tell everyone where they can find you and stream your music.
Yeah, sure. So I'm on all of the normal streaming platforms. Wherever you get your music, it's just Imogen Clark, and Clark is without an E. Imogen is a bit of a weird name, so it's Imogen. And, all of the places you can find me online, and you can find my website at imogenclark.com.au, which will have all my, tour dates and stuff. And I'll be playing a lot this year. So I'd love to see you at a show.
I cannot wait. You have my word. I will try my best to make it out to one of your shows with my plus one being the mannequin, and I cannot wait.
I love this. I love that the plus one is not your partner, it's the mannequin. You're like, no, partner can go away, mannequin instead.
1000%. This is how committed I am to you, okay? Not only did you turn me straight for a couple of seconds, but now I'm showing up with a mannequin, leaving my partner behind. So
I love this so much. I love this so much. This is perfect.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. And this is the beautiful and talented Imogen Clark, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mo.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too. We'll definitely be in touch.
That would be awesome. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye. Hey, if you've made it this far, don't forget to follow the socials on the screen or in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next week.